Hello again. Okay, I'm going to start the heart video that they mentioned in my last video. So here goes. I put water on the canvas first, and I think I saw Wow Art do this. So I'm copying off of him in terms of putting the water on there. And then, although he spray painted his water on. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, this is my Dollar Tree brand paint. I said Dollar Tree, but I purchased it at Dollar Tree, but the brand is actually Prang, and it's acrylic. And I'm using pre-stretched canvases that I just get also at the Dollar Tree. This is an 8x10 canvas. I tend to paint on an 8x10 canvas or this size, like the 5x7. This is another piece that I did. Let me turn this other light on. This is another piece that was inspired by something I saw on Pinterest. And it just says, "Be still and know I am God." I like that, especially in these COVID times. But anyway, these are the sizes that I most paint on. I do have a few that are a little larger, but anyway. Okay, back to this painting at hand. Oh, okay, I like that. And what I'm going to be using to get my colors that I want, or I'm sorry, I'm using, it's hard to talk and work. I'm going to be using acrylic paint and then some of these good old-fashioned watercolor, because the colors in the sky that day, I mentioned in the last video that I saw on the way home from work, I saw a gray sky with a beautiful heart, literally a heart shape that was multicolored in the clouds, but it was muted but very distinct, and so I wanted to recreate that, attempt to recreate that. And so I want to use watercolor so I can kind of get some of those muted tones, hopefully. Try to paint the sides of my pictures as well. I think it gives it a more finished look if you paint the sides as well. Although it depends on what you're painting and also the personal preference of the artist. Am I an artist? I hesitate to call myself an artist. I just, I dabble. And I enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it as well. I'm still learning, but every artist, I think, is always continually learning, because if you don't, then you're stagnant, you know, and you're not growing, so that's not good. So I have my canvas all covered in white, and I notice when Wow Art does his paintings that he lets them dry in between layers, and in the past when I've painted along with him, I would just try to do it in one setting. Oops. Well, sir, that wasn't supposed to happen. No worries. This is not an expensive brush. This is a Walmart brand brush as well. No worries. Okay, so I want to try to get that tone, and I will also upload a picture, the inspiration picture that I took that day driving home from work, so you can see the comparison. Okay, so I want to, here are my heart shapes that I cut out of dryer sheets, and I'm going for a raised art effect. I already have my heart shapes pre-cut. So now I'm going to cut them in half. And actually, I'm going to cut 2 of them in half. Let's see. I'll cut the 2 smaller ones. They're probably about the same size, but to my eye, they look different sizes. Okay. So of course, just down the middle. Oh, I should have got my other scissors. These are not my sharpest ones. There we go. Okay, got the job done. That'll work. Okay, so then the reason I cut it, because I don't want it just to be, you know, just together like that. I wanted a little space in between it so I can get the different colors and the different effects. And what I have here, this is some glue and yellow paint. And the glue kind of gives it a little bit of a gloss. There we go. Gives it a little bit of a gloss. And does that help? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And it kind of helps it. I pour paint sometimes as well onto canvas to see. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is mix or put a piece of my half of my heart shape in the yellow. So this is, what color did I use? I used Pale Daffodil, and this is Apple Barrel, Walmart brand, acrylic. So I just put the dryer sheet down into the paint and kind of dab it down in there so it's soaked. Covered completely in that. And I'm also going to be using orange, but the orange that I have, this is also, there's not very much in here. Okay, this is also glue and some of the orange paint. And that is, I think I got this from Dollar Tree as well. This is Art Time Sargent brand paint, acrylic. Now, I'm sure some artists use, you know, a better brand, but they're probably better artists than I am as well. And, you know, just starting out, you don't need exactly the most expensive brushes or the most expensive paint. Let's be real, you know, you want to figure out what you're doing first. But where's my orange? There it is. Okay, so I'm going to use this orange as well as this watercolor orange here. This is like a pale, it's very pale. So the 2 of them, I'm hoping will give me the color that I want. And I use these, when you get Chinese food, you get these little things that have soy sauce in them. Oh no, I got a little bit on my canvas here. Let's get that out of there. As I was opening, that'll be all right. It'll get painted over anyway. Okay, so back to what I was doing. Where's my mixer? I like to mix my paint in these because you can, I have different colors that are mixed, especially when I'm pouring. I like to mix them in here, the glue and the paint that I'm using. And they have the little lid so you can store them for later use. So this little solo cup, I'm gonna pour some in here. Some of that pale watercolor orange. And a little bit, that's not showing so much on camera. A little bit of that, okay. Because again, I said I wanted it to be muted, a bit of a muted tone. Okay, that'll work. And I'm gonna put the other half of the heart, the dryer sheet heart, into that paint, which I think I need a little more. Excuse my arm. A little more of the pale orange. Actually, I'm going to try a little bit of white, because it's too bright. I don't want it quite that bright. A little more white. And this is the same brand that I used for the canvas, the prang, or prong, however you say it. I think it's prang. Okay, that's good. That's the orange that I want. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Okay, and then just pop this baby back in there. And kind of get it saturated. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit, the orange and the yellow. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, okay, to get that gray, I already have the white on there, but to get that kind of grayish, I'm gonna mix a little bit of black and white. And yet another container. These really come in handy. And I want it to be a muted black, so I'm going to use, I have Pavement. These are both Apple Barrel brand, and I'm going to use Pavement because it's a little more gray, and the other one is jet black, and I don't want that. So shake, 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 and just a little bit of the Pavement in the prong. Ooh. Oh, okay, that's not bad. Not bad at all. See if you can see that. Okay, I want it to be a little lighter. I may need to make a part 2 for this video. I just remembered I have the clay in the oven for another project that I'm working on. I made some flowers, and they've been drying, but they've been they're still soft. So I just put them in the oven and hopefully that'll work. Hopefully that'll do the trick with hardening them. Okay. That's the color that I was going for. And I want a little bit of red as well. Which I already have this mix. Ooh. That needs to be a little more liquid. And this Dollar Tree brand white glue, Jot. Dollar Tree rocks. You better ask somebody. Okay. Hopefully that'll give me the texture that I want. For my paint, I can put this black away. That's finished. And the white is finished. Okay. See if you can see how that looks. Yeah, see that? It's making it more liquid. It's been sitting for a while also. Scooch that back. Okay. I want this to be lighter also. So I added some of that praying white into that. Oh, and this was also the apple. Nope, I'm wrong. That was the Sargent Art Time. And I said it was acrylic paint, but it's actually tempera. There we go. So I mixed that with some of the praying white, also from Dollar Tree. And I mixed glue in with it. Yeah, so it gives me a better consistency and a brighter or a little lighter color. Okay, and this I'm not going to soak the acrylic or the dryer sheet in. I'm going to dab that onto the dryer sheet because that's a stronger color than I want, and I only want a streak of that, as I remember from the picture that I took. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to close my blinds really quickly. I want my blinds, my curtain. There we go. I have my plant light on also. Okay. So I have the orange, I have the yellow, and a little bit of this pink. I actually kind of like that better than the red. I think I'm going to use that instead of the red, because that red is pretty powerful. And I want a more muted. Okay, so here's the dryer sheet. In it goes. Hi, Hannah. Good. How are you doing? Good, 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 good. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. What, sweetie? Should be over there. Look on my dresser. It's actually. He's in his studio. He's not in there, sweetie. This one needs to get, the orange needs to get a little better saturated. Okay. Okay, I'm a little nervous about this, but it's really just fine. And I'm going to dry brush. The white is slightly dry. I'm using a fan brush, number 6. And I think I got this at one of those do-it-centers, which I was very surprised. And it's a good quality too. I have some other fan brushes that the quality is poor, so I will not. They came from overseas, I'll just say it that way. Most of them, but they're not as dense at all, and once the paint gets on them, they separate. So I was pretty pleased when I got this one because it's more dense. The fibers are closer together. And I'm going to dry brush that and get just a little bit on the brush, because, and when I did the white, I went this way, and I'm going to go this way with this gray. I'm making this up as I go along, trying to recreate what I saw that day. It was very stunning, and I did have to be very careful that day because, as I said, when I was taking the pictures while I was driving, don't do that. Not good. Not good at all. Oh, I like the movement. I don't want to just go straight across. I mean, this was in the sky, you know, so there's the clouds, the movement that you want to show, you know. A little bit more. Not that light. Okay. Then we'll just pop a lid on this. Later use. Clean my brush. This is one of my favorite brushes. It makes me feel like I'm really painting because of the quality of the brush, and then you can just do so much with it. And this was not an expensive brush. Again, I don't have a ton invested in my brushes yet, but a lot of them were Walmart. Some of them came from overseas. This is acrylic brush value pack. I'm not using that on this project, but it's just the type of brushes. Here's another one, the same brand brush value pack that has multiple brushes in there. Listen, I use Dollar Tree as well. Dollar Tree little sponge brushes. I did invest in some that were a little more expensive. I got these on, I think, Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, they're more for precision. You can see that right there. For the teeny tiny work. And then it has this little case. I think this was Amazon. Maybe that one was overseas as well. And then I have, these are big kids, young artists. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that. And I've never even used this one yet. There's a fan brush in there as well. But again, I think it was Walmart or somewhere, you know. I don't spend a ton on my painting, on my tools. And then I have this finger grip ruler, you know, because sometimes you don't want straight lines in your art, but sometimes you do. So anyway, so the brands, while this dries a little bit, the brands that I use are the Apple Barrel, Dollar Tree brand, which is the Tempera, the Prang, and I think I have some more Dollar Tree down here as well. Acrylology, and this is acrylic. Oh, that fell. I thought I put that back in there. There we go. These are all Dollar Tree, these that I'm going to show you now. And this one is black. That first one was deep brown. You can never have enough paint, right? This, I love, my favorite color is purple, and I was trying to do a project, I think it was this hummingbird, and I did this months ago, and I just could not find the right purple for this area right here and here, and I mixed and mixed, and it was so frustrating, and I think I settled for that. But it was hard to get the colors that I wanted. And so when I saw this rich color at Dollar Tree, I was so excited. And many times when it's you know, I mean, it's $1, let's be real. So it's acrylic, but still it's thinner, which works really good for pouring. But if you want it thicker, you know, you can use the glue to make it a little thicker. But the color is very, very nice. I love that from Dollar Tree. And then here's another acrylic. Yeah, I'm not sure I said that right. This one is yellow, of course. So I was pretty excited to get those. Then I have some white. And this was my first paint that I bought. This was also from Walmart brand, and these are acrylic, and it was just a pack of, I think, 24 of these. And then I have another. Oh, it's back here. This one I got, I think, on Amazon. Let me see. This one is acrylic paint as well, and this is Acrylica by Daco, and it has 25 colors in it. And excuse that noise there. The colors are very vibrant. I was pretty excited to get that as well. Shades of purple, my favorite. I mean, it's just, I love bright colors, as I said before, so I was very excited to get that. That was, I think that was only about maybe $20, $22 or something like that on Amazon. So, let's put that back. There we go, now it's thing. My husband made this painting table for me, so I was pretty excited about that. I need a real studio. Okay, let's see. Let's see, so it had the orange on this side. Now this is where it gets a little bit messy, but that's okay, that's okay. Messy is good. Okay, so there's my orange, my yellow, and my pink. I'm going to start with the orange first. Do I want to start with the orange first? Just a minute, let me see. I also want to add a little of this as well to each of these, and then this is from Dollar Tree as well. Oops. Spill a little bit of that. This is a pouring medium, which I'm not pouring. This is, as I said, from Dollar Tree, and it's Sargent art as well. But it gives a little bit of a shine, and it makes your paints more fluid so that they will pour better. But it'll give a little bit of a shine, and I kind of like that. So, just kind of mix that in. Into the yellow also. Oh, that's nice and saturated. Okay, I like that. And also I mix them into that pink. Good, that has nice saturation also of the dryer sheet.